Oh, we're about to get a workout in.
Yeah.
About to show this guy what's up. You know, he hoops me up, but then when we get in the gym, it's another story.
I think I'll outlift you still, bro.
You think so? I mean, you might. You're bigger than me.
I think outlifting, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I think I'll be close.
I don't think so.
And I'm, what am I, like 8 years older than you?
Yeah, that's fine. Are you making the
No excuses,
already?
bro. No excuses. All that shit, bro, on the basketball court. But now what's happening, bro? Huh? Let's go, Hosey. Because if you really want to build muscle, you need to consume like 150 grams of protein a day.
A day.
And it's also blood sugar regulation. So like in the past, you know how like we went so long yesterday without eating?
Yeah.
Your blood sugar like drops really low. And when you eat shit that is like fast burning,
Yeah.
what happens is it spikes and then drops. So what I was feeling is it would spike, drop, and then you get like really lethargic in the afternoon, like 2, 3 o'clock, you need a coffee or something.
Break it down. What's the routine for Aaron after a workout?
Yeah, so the routine is after the workout, I just did some aminos, some creatine, and some glutamine, all to help with recovery. And now we're doing some Previnex. Shout out to Previnex. I'd love to be a sponsor for you guys. I love your product. I think it's dope. And it's just a clean source of protein. So we get this in right after the workout. And then we'll have our first meal of the day. First meal of the day will consist of, protein, a little bit of carbs. And then we're off to the races, baby.
I'm gonna get me some bacon. I'm gonna get me some sausage. I'm gonna get me some eggs.
Bro,
some
he's got
pancakes. I'm just kidding.
Hey, he's got to do something to feed the pancito. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's called the panzota.
Panzota. I see.
It's got to be
bad. Hey, so I'm on a mission to ensure that he shows up in that area because he's an amazing leader. He's an amazing human. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you see him out in public, be like, hey, bro, how's the pancita?
Coming along. Yeah, and then touch it if you want.
And together as a team, no, don't touch, bro. But together as a team, we'll get him on the right track.
Yeah.
And he knows that I love him, and that's the only reason that I'm pushing on him.
I think we kind of help each other in that manner, that there's certain things that we say to each other repeatedly, and then it sticks. So sometimes we need to hear things more than one time in order for it to stick. Sometimes you need to hear it 8, 10 times in order for it to have an impact. And I think as long as the other person knows it's coming from a place of love, it's all good. So there are things that I say to people, like another thing that he'll say to me is he'll be like, hey, look, it's going to be great once you stop selling real estate and we can focus 100% of our time and energy in this opportunity. And he'll say that to me almost every time we talk on the phone or almost every time I see him in person, and that's just him like reselling me on the vision basically. And it's the same thing with the pancita. With the pancita, it's the same thing. He's basically like, hey, look, it's gonna be great once you're able to do this, and he's leading the way in that department. And there's been areas where I lead the way in other things. I'm like, hey, look, dude, I've already tested these waters, like come do this.
Yes.
This is the importance of doing this. And there's areas where he does the same thing for me. In the fitness aspect, he's definitely by far leading the way.
Yeah, and you did it for me even yesterday, where when I was at Ryan and when I finished your podcast, you were like, bro, like you need to get on other people's podcasts.
And that's me.
That's you doing the same thing for me and pushing me in that direction.
And when I saw him perform at a podcast, I'm like, dude, that's all you need. But how many times have I said that to you already?
All the time.
Since that time. I've said that to you probably since the podcast yesterday, probably 5, 6 times. Hey, dude, the one thing, just one thing, if you can do one thing that'll have a massive impact on your business, it's just being on more podcasts.
Yeah, so the question is who do you have in your life that challenges you in that way, in a loving manner, to really help you improve and express the highest version of yourself. So I'm appreciative of you, man.
Yeah, and same here. Like some people might get sensitive, like if he's like, oh, pancita or whatever, but it's an accurate assessment of reality. I have a pancita. Like there's no denying it, bro. There is no denying it. So it's like, and there's other areas too, but I think a part of it is like, I've given certain feedback to other individuals, and their ego is so
Big.
large
Yeah.
that they can't see that feedback is coming from a place of, hey, I want to help you, or I want to help improve your life. And they're almost like, nah, like he doesn't know what he's doing, or hey, like almost like, no, I don't want to learn from him. Instead of just being like, you know what? Does this person have a track record of achieving certain results in a certain area? And is what he's saying is true? And could this actually help me? Non-ego, non-anything. So the whole pancita thing, it's true.
Yeah.
It's not like...
And what you're saying to me is true.
Yeah.
As far as like, hey man, this is an area that you need to focus on. So we both really care about each other, and we want each other to express the highest version of themselves. So the question is who do you have in your life that does that for you? Not from a malicious intent, not from a trying to put you down so they can feel better about themselves, but more like, hey bro, I really care about you, and I see what you're capable of, and here's what I see is limiting you in some capacity. And then it just becomes a fun kind of playful, ever-evolving thing.
And then for you guys, if you guys want to see an amazing podcast, he did a great podcast with Ryan Pineda. He did another one with Brian Davila, and then he did one with, I think, wealthy creator Justin, which all three of them were like phenomenal. If you want to see like just things explained in a way where they make sense and why he made the decision to go all in on EXP, those are like very good episodes to watch them.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's go, let's grow.
Because even like the way you broke it down, like when they asked you about EXP, I think they expected you just to be like, oh, I joined EXP because of the rev share, or I joined EXP because of the stock. They did not expect you to go to Naval, talk about the 4 different
forms of
leverage, and they did not expect you to go into Hermosi's like opportunity ladder. So when you went into both of those, and then you came up with the filters that you put those things through now, okay, does it compound? Any business opportunity, does it compound? Does it net more than a certain amount
of year? Is it leveraged?
Is it leveraged?
Where is it on the opportunity ladder?
Does it have impact?
Yeah.
And now if you have a filter of what you put all the opportunities, because otherwise, like it's like when you were thinking about starting a title company, and then Lars told you, hey, like, does it do this? Does it do that?
Yeah.
Like creating these filters, and it's like, no, it was just the money grab.
Just the money grab.
It's just the money grab. But even when they asked you that, it wasn't like, hey, I just woke up one day and like I saw like somebody move, I think this is a good opportunity. You studied the model, and everything that you had done up until that point led up to you making that decision because you understood leverage. You understood the opportunity ladder as well, too.
I put it through all the filters, and when Ryan was challenging me and saying like, hey, is that the best use of your time? And I was like, yeah, well, not only have I put it through all these filters, it's the best use of my time right now.
Yeah.
Now that may change. 3 to 5 years from now, it may change. Just like I shared with him, he shared that he's selling a business.
Yeah.
So at one point, he felt that that was the most valuable use of his time.
And that was such a great response.
And now that's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, it was like, okay, this. But even having those filters, like for me, that's helpful. I'm like, oh, whenever I get business opportunities, have a set of criteria that it meets, even as like, does it fit my natural disposition? Mm-hmm. And then if it fits those criterias, then do it. If it doesn't, then don't do it.
Yeah, and there's as people who are entrepreneurial, there's always 10 out of 10 opportunities. So there's all these ways to make money. At the same time, though, I believe in what I'm learning experientially is that if you have those filters and you run them through, and you are left with like 2 opportunities, let's say that compound, that are very highly leveraged. Now you ask yourself a question: which one is more in alignment with my natural disposition? Which one would allow me to do work that's meaningful with people that I like and enjoy? And which one will have a big impact on, as many people as possible? You're left with one. And when you're left with that one,
now you go
all in. So one of the things that we observed with Ryan, what Ryan's doing is amazing. Like I was super impressed with him, really whip smart, understands leverage. He's really coming from a place of contribution. He's trying to build other leaders. He's really exposing a whole group of entrepreneurs to a different kind of mindset and a way of thinking with Wealthy Kingdom and things of that nature. The observation that me and you made is he has a lot of things going on. He has multiple businesses. And we started to ask ourselves a question. It's like, well, if he were to focus on one, say no to all of them, and with his skill set, focus on one, he could create a $200 million company or a $500 million company, right? Yeah. So I think the challenge is as somebody who's smart, hardworking, and ambitious, to decide what's the thing to stack my time on top of that's worth going all in on.
Yeah.
Because I think if you do that, in a short period of time, you will get outsized results. People externally will be like, how are you doing that? And it's because you've said no to everything else and yes to one thing.
You know what's funny? When you said this is the largest opportunity of our lifetime, and Novello was like, what? Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, what do you mean the largest opportunity of our lifetime? And he's like, tell me about it. Like, like almost like he didn't see it or understand it.
And once I explained it, which was cool, because he came out with smoke.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I hate agents. I think EXP is a scam. Like, and at the end, what I appreciated is he was open. And once I explained it in a way that was logical and made sense to him, he said, like, yeah, I don't know if I'm fully sold on it. I understand it better now.
Better now. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what was true for me as far as like being able to get yourself to a place of certainty. Because I've heard Grant Cardone say this. He's like, do whatever you have to do to get certain. Because once you're certain, there's a thing that says like once you are certain and kind of make a decision, I'm forgetting the exact quote, but it says like providence moves. And what the word providence means, it's like divine or godly. So it's like things conspire to like move you in that direction. But it's like when you have to get certain. And by me studying Naval, listening to Hermosi, thinking about the opportunity ladders, putting it through filters, bro, I'm certain, like 1,000%. And as such, that allows me to go, okay, this is worth going all in on. And when you get yourself to that place of certainty, you can begin to materialize what it is that you're thinking very quickly, much faster than if you're not certain.
Yeah. And just for our viewers, it's kind of rare that he forgets a quote. Like, so that doesn't ever happen.
Yeah.
Even like Ryan noticed it. Like, it's like the quotes. He's like, dude, you're like a philosopher or something like that. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. But let's go get some breakfast.
Let's go get some breakfast, bro. We're hungry. Yeah.
This is not the kind of trip to the beach that I was picturing, but
What are you saying?
Usually Memorial Weekend is different for me, but
He's looking for the barbecue.
I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I think we're swimming out to those ships out there. It'll be fun.
Getting ready for this. Don't know what's in store, but whatever it is, let's do it.
Getting ready, bro. Getting ready to get in, face our fears. You know what I mean?
The first evolution is going to test a couple things. It's going to test somewhat endurance as we're going to be swimming out, but it's also going to test courage and being able to overcome something that you probably haven't done before, which is all of us have been in the ocean, probably not at this time, and going out to a certain distance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head out, tread for a couple minutes in a certain point, and come back. Just be mindful, safety precautions. There's sea life out there, right? And just be mindful of what's in the water. So you feel something next to you, whatever else, no need to splash around, no need to kick, it'll go away. Stay together as a group, all right? I don't want anybody drifting off, anything like that. So stay together, we'll stay tight. The purpose is to overcome fears. You know, it's showing us that we can adapt and overcome anything that's thrown our way. You know, whether it's water at night, whether it's something in your life, personal life, whether it's, you know, doing something work-wise. It's being able to overcome a challenge and fear that you haven't anticipated before. But then moving forward, you'll be able to say, hey, look, I accomplished this. You know, and I was scared to death of it because I've never done this before. And like Jose right now, he's looking at the water, he's like, holy shit, I don't want to go out there. But, you know, it's just something that is something that you'll be able to overcome and look back and say, hey, you know what? I conquered my fear.
Each of us are going through an evolution, and we're attempting to do things that are very uncomfortable, whether that's speaking in front of groups, whether that's moving away from actively selling real estate and be like, I can't fucking do that, I don't know. Whether it's making decisions, right? Like going into the dark water is the equivalent of moving into a space that you're not 100% certain that you know what's gonna happen. But instead what you have to do is just trust yourself and trust the people that are around you.
All right, you guys ready? Let's go.
All right, Hosey. The very thing you told me you didn't want to do. Hosey told me you had to come out of the but legit, that lightning show is crazy. That's cool. I think it's also an opportunity to like recognize like whatever you like, how insignificantly small you are, bro. You see this like raw power of like nature. You see that lightning storm and that same electricity that's happening right there is the same electricity that goes through your body every time you have a thought, every time you want to move.
Whoa. Fuck, that was a good one. You guys see him? Wow, what a show.
Hey, so I'm curious, when you're like trying to make decisions and shit, is there sometimes lightning off in the distance? And is that lightning made up? Is it real or is it actually like something that's true?
I'm sure a lot of you guys had your reservations about coming out here and you know what could happen or what if could happen. And now we're out here and it's actually a good time. You know, we're out here, everyone's having, you know, a conversation, joking, just treading water, and the water feels good. Enjoying the view of the lightning, the city lights. So a lot of times you expect something to be a lot worse than it actually is.
Originally, I didn't want to do it, and I felt a lot more comfortable with people.
That was an understatement.
Yeah, I was trying to find every excuse to bail out on it. Sometimes you are doing something new where you don't know what it's going to look like, and you imagine it to be a lot worse than it actually is, and then once you actually do it, it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad, or that was a piece of cake. Would I do it again? Probably not my choice. No, probably not. You know, if I had to, I would, but by choice, I don't know if I'd do it again. And maybe I haven't done it either.
Right.
So I think once you do it, it's kind of like.
No, and I appreciated your authenticity where you were like, hey, if I did this myself, I wouldn't have done it.
It's true.
I was watching you like start to talk yourself out of it. You're like, and he looked at me like, bro, really, bro?
Like, come on, Adam.
Come on.
We could be doing
Come
right
on,
now.
you know me, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too.
Good job. Good job. Good job, everybody. Good job.
Hey, I would let your body warm up naturally, the way Mark's doing. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, when you get out, do it, Mark. Like, let your body warm up naturally.
Look how it help to get in mildly cold water before you get in there.
No.
You want to be warmer when you get in?
Yeah, like you can go in there to rinse off. That's fine.
That was like a horse though after you got done with the race.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, like when you get out, because your metabolism, it speeds it up because it's having to warm your body up from the inside out. And if you shiver, let your body shiver. Our tendency is to want to like pat dry or like jump in like like warm water to alleviate it. Don't do that. I mean, you can if you want to. I wouldn't propose it.
Normally I would shiver in that, but because we were doing the workout, is that why I'm still warm?
No. You know why? Because you got really centered, calm, and clear. So I've watched Carla in here when she gets really, if you're not dialed in, my experience is you'll shiver.
Okay.
But when you were, I watched you went into like meditative, like.
Yeah, you got.
You know? And you may shiver. I mean, it's normal, depending on how long. If I stay in here for 4 minutes, then I might shiver.
Mm-hmm. And breathing is so important.
Critical.
Monks have to spend the night in the snow with a blanket. That's it.
That's it.
Buried in the snow.
Right.
And they stay warm.
And they stay warm.
We have to. I mean, they have to.
It's a rite of passage.
It's part of their training.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like, it's the same thing, like, if I'm pushing in some way and I want to stop, it's the same thing here where, like, I have to force my nervous system to be like, I'm fine, we're not going
You won't
anywhere.
find it out here. The brain wants to find it out.
Yeah, the brain wants to go outside and find it outside. That's exactly right.
Oh, how can I get out of here? How can I?
Right. How can I alleviate this discomfort immediately?
Sorry, brain, you can't leave this game.
No. And I'm the boss. Like, this is what we're doing.
Do you usually put something like here's something like some sort of-
Sometimes I usually put music on because, like, I like it. But here I'm just talking to you guys.
Kind of distracts you also.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
Listening to something.
I'm telling you though, bro, you feel like a fucking million bucks. Hey, it helps with the recovery. Helps with recovery, 100%. Increases endorphins by like fucking some insane amount. It's the same as cocaine, and it lasts for an that's the old Mark coming out. Hey, I was like to Terrell, I'm like, oh, that's a new version. That's the old version of Mark. But you'll feel like, fuck.
I've never done. Made $1 million. You realize if you make $1 million a year in real estate, you're in the top 0.1% of all real estate agents in the whole fucking country. 0.1, not 1%. 0.1. We just, you know what it's like. It's like there's a story. This guy, he climbed like he's a professional climber, and he went through a really hard breakup. So he wanted to take his mind off it. So he picked this mountain in like Yosemite that's like literally fucking vertical. Like it's one of the hardest mountains in the world to climb, and he climbs it like by himself and with one other person, right? And he calls his buddy who's a videographer, and his buddy who's a videographer, he's not a professional rock climber, right? And he tells everybody he's gonna climb, so there's fucking, you know, all these like people down below that are watching and all sort of shit. And remember, it's a vertical climb. They get halfway up the mountain, and there's a pass where you have to go from one side to the other, and it's like this thin. You know what I mean? There's like a handful of people on the fucking planet who could do that, where you have to go like this, you know, to get across. The professional climber goes right across. His friend gets stuck. Remember, he's not a professional climber. So he gets stuck, and he starts to feel a lot of pressure because there's all these camera crews underneath and everybody's watching and all this other shit. He gets stuck there for like fucking like 48 hours. And the guy who's his friend, he tells him, like, just go without me. And the guy who's a professional climber says, look, I'm not leaving without you. So either we're going to stop here or I'll help you get across. And then he takes both of their phones and he throws them off the mountain. All the pressure just went away, right? All the people below and all that other shit. And the fucking guy makes it across. But here's what's interesting. And he started to, when he got stuck on the mountain, he started to feel like shit about himself. You know what's wild? Why? Because he looks at his friend who's like, meanwhile, there's fucking like this percentage of people who could even get halfway up that fucking mountain. Yeah. He's looking at the one person up there instead of the fucking millions underneath him. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So like, here you are halfway up the mountain, what you're perceiving to be halfway up the mountain. You're the 0.01% of agents on the planet. You look up at a few others and you're like, man, I'm not doing shit. I'm a piece of shit. I'm not good. I'm not fast enough. I'm not quick enough. I'm not strong enough. And you know what you're not doing? Looking at the fucking millions of people that are looking up and being like, bro, you got halfway up one of the hardest fucking mountains in the world. Does that make sense?
But do you look down? I feel like you don't.
I don't. I think I used to. But I don't anymore. Well, here's what's true. I think now what it is it's more me encouraging other people up the mountain. So I think like in the past, I was very concerned with the people down because I wanted to prove myself to everybody. Super high.
You wanted to be.
I wanted to be mayor. Yeah, I wanted everybody to know it. So like very motivated by significance, very motivated by certainty, right? So I wanted the gold ribbons. I wanted the fucking 100 units. Like I just wanted to do shit that made me stand out. And now what that's become is I want to encourage other people up the mountain. Or another analogy could be is like, which I've talked to you before, is like, you get to this bridge and everybody here is at a bridge in some way. So you get to this bridge and it's like a 200-foot like empty space between one like mountain than the other. And the bridge is like, it's like a little rickety. It's made of wood. And the moment you walk up to the bridge, what happens in your head? What do you start to tell yourself?
Oh, shit.
Oh fuck! Like it's a little shaky, it's a little windy. well, maybe I should read some books on bridges. So that's what you do. You gather information, you read books on bridges. Then you're like, well, maybe I should listen to podcasts on bridges. So you listen to podcasts on bridges. Meanwhile, you don't take a step. Then you're like, well, maybe I need to surround myself with people who can tell me that I can go across the bridge. Maybe that'll help me. So I find the people, I read the books, I listen to the podcasts, but I don't take a single step. So what I view kind of like what I'm doing is the role is where I'm standing next to you, where you're right at the bridge. And just like the guy on the mountain stood next to his friend when he was making that cross, and he's telling him like, hey, you can do this. I know you can. I can't do it for you though. You have to take the step. You have to take the leap. And that's why it's called a leap of faith. It's not called a tiptoe of faith. It's not called it's not like, yeah, I'm going to go like this in baby steps. No, it's a leap of faith where you're like, oh, fuck, like, I don't know. Right?
It's like that
Yeah,
video that you said, courage doesn't happen until after you've done what you're afraid of.
And it's like, well, that's a half-ass way. It should be the other way around. It's like, yeah, I know. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's true. And then what it really comes down to is trusting yourself.
See, but I don't know that it's always like a huge leap. I think you have to at some point. But I think what you're exceptionally good at least I can speak from personal experience, is that you get me to start taking the steps, even if I need to read a book on it.
Yeah.
You're like, fucking take a couple of steps and read your fucking book.
Yeah. And that's
it's
okay.
like, and that's like, okay, listen to your podcast, but take a couple of fucking
Take
steps.
a couple steps. That's
Right?
exactly.
And then I'm
While
like,
you're doing it, not just
right.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I'm like fucking halfway across. Right?
You might as well. I might as well.
I'm fucking fine, right? Like,
Yeah.
but that's what it is,
That's exactly what.
right?
And I
At
think
least for me and my personality.
100%. And I think in order for me to continue to be of value to the power that's in this room, I have to be doing that myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to sell shares and lose $42,000, cap twice, switch company. Like I have to build an organization of 128 in 20 months. Like I have to invest money in different things that are different. Because if I'm not constantly going across bridges myself, how can I help other people get across bridges? Right.
I think you said something too that like sometimes agents expect clients to sign a $40,000
Right.
listing agreement to make a decision, yet they're over here struggling to make a $200 purchase or $1,000 purchase a month for a coach or something.
Yeah, and I heard it described like the objections that people give you are the objections you give to others. So if you're getting anything to think about a lot, guess what you do? Anything about a lot. That's why you can't with conviction be like, you don't have to fucking think about this. I was on a third party call and the guy was like, he's like, I'm 90% in. I'm like, what's the other 10%? He got real quiet. You know what I said to him? You're afraid. That's okay. Everybody's afraid when they're going to take a jump. Let me ask you a question because I see this as a bet on yourself. Do you trust yourself? I do. You've known me. You've been on my coaching calls. Like, do you trust that I'm going to add value? He's like, yeah. I'm like, let's fucking do this, man. And he did. I can't do that with conviction if I didn't call Ryan Pineda for his coaching company. It's $25,000 and make a decision right there on the spot. I wouldn't be able to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get the objections that you give other people. Mm-hmm. If you tell people you want to think about a lot, guess what you're going to hear back? I need to think about a lot. If you can't make a decision on something that you think makes sense because of the money, then you're going to get commission a lot. If you're telling people I need to think about it before you decide to do something, you're going to hear I need to think about it because you can't answer it with conviction if you're not doing it yourself. It's very true. So why can I tell people with conviction about joining? Because I know it's going to fucking help them. And I did it. And I jumped through more hoops than they'll ever have to jump to. Most of them. Some people, others, but as far as the money, that's a $72,000 turnaround. How many people would do that? They would be like, I'm going to wait until my cap's done. I'm going to wait to see if the shares are worth more money. They would just not make a decision. So for me to be able to help you to make that decision, I had to do it. Because you did that.
I mean, it took me 8 months, but...
And it's okay. But if I didn't do that, I couldn't speak with conviction to you doing it.
Yeah.
And it'd be believable. It would be more like, okay, well, you're just trying to get me to do something.
No, I'm looking back now and I'm like, I made the decision because of my trust in you as a person. Because all of a sudden, after I've made that choice, now I'm here and I'm seeing, oh, that is the reason I'm here. Oh, that's another reason. Oh, and that's another reason. I didn't even do the research to learn all that. It was the relationship.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So
Isn't that funny? The difference in, because like I need all the information.
yeah.
I don't trust.
That's true. But he also needed a lot of information. Took 8 months, multiple calls, and it's normal because again, anytime you do something that's different, what happens in your brain is it's perceived as a threat and you get scared. He took 7 months.
And we were scared about different things.
We're scared about different things.
Where you might see it, Ben, as it was, you need to know the analytics. For me, it was all about the relationships. What's going to happen to these relationships?
Yeah.
And that was the thing that kept it from moving forward. And then I realized, as I started to see what was happening, I'm like, well, these relationships haven't brought me this experience. So I have to make this choice about this.
Yeah, and I think you also like Darrell, because it was the same thing, 7 months, probably 7, 8 months, something like that. And similarly, it was like about relationships and imagining that those relationships were actually more valuable than they actually were. Where he was like, oh yeah, like we're like,
When you paint this picture,
oh yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, we're like, like we're tight, and like, well, you're gonna find out real fucking quick how tight you are, dude. I'm telling you. And he was right up. We had to talk the other day, like, because he was saying to me, he's like, bro, I get so frustrated with people. I tell them and they don't do it, and I'm like, bro, you're forgetting who the fuck, like, who took 8 months, bro? And he was like, yeah, that's true. That's true. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to judge, but it's like, bro, like, and he was right up to the end. He told me he was going to do it. And then I called him. He's like, well, show me this and that. I'm like, okay, right up to the end. And I was telling him, I'm like, you got to be careful of that, because if I had that like feeling of like, bro, this isn't worth my time, I wouldn't have talked to you. I wouldn't keep talking to you. I wouldn't keep, right? I wouldn't keep helping you move down the kind of, field to get to the end zone. And the end zone being like, I know it's going to help you. Like, sure, there's a financial component, but like, I know it's going to serve you, and I know we can add the value. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's going to unlock for you. But that was like a relationship to me. And you like up and down, you're like, nah, bro. And then real quick, what happened? We're not cool. Like super quick. We're not cool. We can't hang out. We can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just realize that, like, and again, what I see that is, it goes back to trust. I was talking to somebody recently. She's $1 million producer in New York. And I was like, does it matter what t-shirt you wear? Like, are you, you know what she said to me? Well, my staff is in the office. I said, you never go to the office. Why the fuck does it matter where your staff sits? Who cares? Could they sit at home? She's like, well, I guess they could. But like, what if that messes stuff up? And then what if I lose? You see what happens? All because of what? Change. That's what I've learned, bro. Like, if you can change things because you have trust in yourself, it's a superpower. Because you can move very quickly.
Ready, exercise.
Let's go, Terrell. Let's go, Hosey.
Yeah, keep moving. Two, one.
Let's go, Hosey. Work that pancito. Hey, when he says 5, that doesn't mean stop.
Ready?
It's one time around. Let me get 2 claps and a Ric Flair for one time around. Woo! Let's go visit the tree. It's lonely. What would happen if you didn't pace yourself, Brian? What would happen if you didn't leave room in the tank? You discover a new level, bro. Oh, look at that sunshine. Let's go. Hey, Chris, Terrell, hurry up. We're all waiting for you. Partner. Hosey, ass not in the air, Hosey. You want to be more? Hey, isn't this true? Hey, this is true. You got people on your team that are dragging behind.
Let's go.
Let's go. All day, every day, no problem. Strength, power.
Get to me, guys, get to me.
Let's go, Hosey. Keep it up, Chris.
Yo, keep moving, don't stop.
That's the way, Terrell. Showing up. Let's go, Chris. You got more in the tank. See, walking, not jogging. Let's go, Brian. You're 12 years younger than me. Let's go. 20 seconds, bro.
Nice work, guys, nice work.
Way to show up, Terrell. There's the collegiate athlete. I didn't see him yesterday, but I'm seeing him today. Let's go, Hosey. Don't quit on me.
Go.
I love hard things. I move towards hard things. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I can do this all day, every day. No problem.
The human mind is 1/50th of the body's mass, and it uses and consumes 1/5 of the body's energy. It's a lot of energy. So when we're in the world of mind, how many of you have taken gremlin taming with Aaron? Okay, so we have an indication. The author of the book Gremlin Taming, Taming Your Gremlin, Rick Carson, tells us that there's really only 3 places that we can be. We can be present, like we are right now. Ben, present, like we are right now. And I'm just, because you were just a little adrift, or with each other, or in the moment. Or we can be present internally in our body, which means we're focusing on our breath, or we're focusing on what's happening from the top of our head to the tip of our toes, or we could be in the world of mind. And usually when we're in the world of mind, the mind is taking us either to the future and playing scary movies. How many of you have experienced that, about what's going to be happening, right? Or it's taking us back to our past and it's beating ourselves up for something that maybe we should have done or that we could have done. And those, we were talking last night, Terrell, about how much energy that can take from us. And I know personally, I can't speak for anyone else, that when I'm in the world of mind, that regret or that scary movie, it could take anywhere between 30 to 90% of my mental energy. And so if we really process that and think about that, the intention of yoga, translated, literally means union of mind, body, and breath. So this is a tool, it's a hack, an easy hack, if we're willing to try it, that will bring all of that together, and we are present in this moment. So that's the intention of yoga. So let's just start off. We'll stand up. We're going to do a little bit of movement. Let's start by creating a little energy, bringing the palms of our hands together, and breathe. If there's anything that causes your mind to go adrift during this class, the one thing that's going to bring it back is your breath. Go right to your breath. That's a place where we can be centered. Now take this energy and this heat, let's transfer it to our body. Gently press and release into the neck. And don't forget to breathe. So as we're doing this, I want to talk a little bit about the lungs. Gently press and release, working your way down to the shoulders also. And this, by the way, gentlemen, is your hour for you. We're giving back to you right now. We put a lot of energy and effort into this weekend. So take this time and give it to yourself. So press and release, and then let's just simply shake the hands out. Shake off that energy. Now bring the hands in front of us, and on the inhalation, bring the fingertips to the sky. Breathe in a little bit more as you press the fingertips between the shoulders. And as you exhale, we're going to gently drag the fingertips across the shoulders, collarbone, and upper chest, and then just shake it out and release. And breathe. Yep. Inhale one more time. Inhale, fingertips come to the sky. Inhale more, press the fingertips between the shoulder blades. Exhale, slowly drag the fingertips across the shoulders, upper collarbones, and chest. And shake it out. One more time like this. Inhale, fingertips up. Inhale, press the fingers between the shoulder blades. Exhale, slowly drag the fingertips across the shoulders, collarbone, and upper chest, and then shake it out. Now let's bring our feet about hip width apart, hip distance apart, toes facing forward. And we're going to do a gentle rotation of the spine, which is just going to move the synovial fluid up and down the spine, and it's going to wake us up a little bit. And this is how it's going to go. The arms are like rag dolls. They're passive. And as you twist to the right, look to your left ankle. And as you twist to the left, look to your right ankle, bringing your focus and your awareness to the body, and don't forget to breathe. And gently allow that motion to come to a pause without forcing. Now we're going to take our right hand and we're going to tap it to our right leg, left hand to our left leg. And as you do this, I encourage you to pick one spot on the floor in front of you and just make it your focus point. And in yoga, we know this as our drishti. And just breathe in and out through the nose. Gently pause the motion. Now make cactus arms like this. And we're going to bring our right elbow to our left knee, left elbow to our right knee. What's comfortable for you without forcing, okay? We did a lot of doing this weekend. Yoga is not about doing. Yoga is about undoing so that the body can receive. And if you can't get the knee all the way to your shoulder or to your elbow, that's okay. Just listen to your body. And in fact, listen to your body because it's a much better instructor than I am. Your body is going to tell you if this is correct or if this is right for you. And if you need to back off a little bit, then that's what you do. Okay, gently pause. Let's bring big toes together, heels slightly apart. And if you guys are okay with it, take your socks off. You'll get a little bit better traction on the mat. And it'll allow you to feel more grounded. Okay, so on an in-breath, we're going to open the arms up, look up, open the heart up, bring shoulder blades together, breathing in fully and completely. And as we exhale, we're going to bring right arm over the left arm. We're going to wrap our arms around ourselves, hug ourselves, and round forward what's comfortable for us without forcing, bending the knees so that you're supporting yourself with your thighs. Allow the head and the neck to fully relax. Exhale completely, squeezing the abdomen at the end of the exhalation. Now relax the abdomen. As you breathe in, come up, open up. Arms open. Shoulder blades come together, look up. Heart is exposed and open to the sky. Exhale, now rounding forward, bringing the left arm over the right arm, hugging yourself. And bring your gaze to your heart. Exhalation fully and completely. And as you breathe in, open up. Look up. Heart comes up. Shoulder blades come together. Exhale, rounding forward. Right arm over left. At the end of your exhalation, squeeze the abdomen, squeezing out any residual air or toxins. As you breathe in, open up. Shoulder blades come together. Heart comes to the sky, look up. And as you exhale, bring heart, spine, everything to a neutral position. And let's shake out arms and shake out legs. Okay, so let's bring big toes together, heels slightly apart, palms facing forward. And as we breathe in, I want you to think about the crown of your head, which is right here. As you breathe in, I want you to raise the crown of the head up, which is going to create space between the vertebrae. And as you exhale, look out over your left shoulder. As you breathe in, center the head, facing forward. Exhale, look out over that opposite shoulder. Breathing in, center the head. Exhale, look out over that opposite shoulder. Now we're going to hold this pose for a moment. So, your gaze is over your left shoulder. And as you breathe in, I want you to think about relaxing the shoulders and allow the crown of the head to raise up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, maintain the pose and look out over that left shoulder. Pick a spot with your eye and focus on that spot. And see if you can move the head and neck just a millimeter further without forcing. And as you breathe in, crown of the head comes up, relax the shoulders down from the ears. And as you exhale, pick that spot a little bit further and see if you can move the head and neck just a little bit further. And on your next inhalation, let's center the head. Come central and face forward. As you exhale, look out over that opposite shoulder. Now, we're going to maintain this position for a couple breaths. As you breathe in, think about raising the crown of the head up, relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And as you exhale, look to the far right corner of the room, pick a spot, and see if you can move the head and neck just a millimeter more without forcing. This is not about doing, it's about undoing. And as you breathe in, crown of the head comes up, relax the shoulders down away from the ears, and use that spot again. Use the eyes to look to the far right corner of the room and relax. And on your next inhalation, bring the head and neck centralized, looking forward. And now let's shake out arms and shake out legs. And now let's come down. Oh, before we do that, excuse me. So there's something that I've learned through the course of time about yoga, and that's it moves the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a health hack. It's also an energy hack. The lymphatic system, so let's start by tapping. We can move the lymph fluid by tapping. So when you need that cup of coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe you might go for that sugar high, instead, try tapping. The lymphatic system, now we're going to take 4 fingers and we're going to go up and down the sternum, up and down the sternum. So the lymphatic system is a third larger in volume than the venous blood system, and yet it has no pump. The lymphatic system is responsible, the lymph fluid is responsible for delivering, now bring the finger points together, and we're going to go into the ribs, because a third of our lymph nodes are located in the joints and in between the bones. So what the lymphatic system will do is it actually delivers nutrients to the cells and it removes trash from the cells. So it's responsible for metabolism. It's also the forefront for our immune system. So if there's going to be cancer cells removed from the body, it's going to start with the lymphatic system. So now let's take our hands, we're going to cup our hands. We're not slapping ourselves, we're cupping our hands, and we're going to start here at the shoulder, and we're going to work around the shoulder joint. This superficial tapping is what causes that lymph fluid to begin to move. Lymph fluid is rich in protein. Now we're going to work out the top of the arm, all the while we're breathing, right? So I mentioned a moment ago that the lymphatic system does not have a pump. Like the venous blood system has the heart to move the fluid, right? It moves the blood. We have a cluster of lymph nodes under the armpit. So hang out in the armpit a little while. And then we're going to move across the upper chest and switch out the hands. So the thing that moves the lymph fluid are 2 things. Diaphragmatic breathing, which is breathing using the diaphragm fully and completely, which we're going to practice that in a moment, and muscle movement. Hang out in the armpit a little bit, because if you realize when women have breast cancer, the doctor wants to remove a bunch of lymph nodes right here. We have a cluster of them here. And if we just spend a little time every day moving this fluid, it will remove that disease from the body. Okay, gently stop. Now we're going to come down to a seat. And next we're going to do is we're going to practice our breathing. So, with legs out in front of us like this, knees bent, bring the hands behind the thighs, and we're going to tuck our chin to our chest, and we're going to slowly
lower ourselves down using our arms to lower the spine down one vertebrae at a time. As if it was a strand of pearls, visualize it just lowering down until the head and the neck are the last to come to the floor. Now, with the knees bent, allow the feet to come out to the width of your mat and allow the knees to gently just fold in towards each other. Bring your awareness, palms facing up on either side of your body, to your breath. Gently tuck the chin in towards your chest to elongate the neck and create space between the vertebrae. Now, to bring awareness to the breath, gently bring your right palm to the abdomen, right on top of your navel. And notice as you breathe in, the belly rises and the belly falls. So, why do we have to learn how to breathe? If you ever have seen a baby or a puppy, when they breathe, they have no challenges or no problems breathing fully and completely because they already know, they naturally know how to breathe. And over time, humans with tight clothing, stress, sitting in a chair slumped over, working, or sitting in a car slumped over, we begin to breathe very shallowly. What I mean by that is keep your focus on your navel and on your breath, and just notice how that naturally moves, because it's a very easy position to breathe in. The lungs are triangular in shape, meaning that the bottom of the lungs holds 75 to 80% of the capacity of our breath. So what happens when we're sitting behind a desk or if we're wearing tight clothing, it restricts the ability for us to use the bottom of our lungs when we breathe. Most people typically are going to breathe using the top 20% of their lungs, which, if you think about it, the only thing that is moving that lymph fluid is muscle movement and diaphragmatic breathing. So I want you to think about the diaphragm. It is one of the largest muscles in the body, and it's like a drum skin, and it separates the heart and lungs from the internal organs. And every time that we breathe properly, diaphragmatically, meaning we're breathing fully and completely, the diaphragm, as we breathe in, is pressing down into the abdomen, and it's helping digestion. It's pressing waste out of our body. And as we exhale, it's forcing the air and the oxygen out of our lungs. So the key in breathing diaphragmatically is just being conscious and focusing on the breath. So we're going to do a little exercise where we're going to try and elongate our breath by using counting. So I want you to, and in between the inhalation and the exhalation, there's going to be a pause. So there's 4 parts to this breathing. So gently relax and bring your awareness to your palm, specifically the area under your palm, which is your abdomen. Keeping the palm on your navel. Exhale fully and completely, and notice the navel falling towards the spine. Gently pause, and now begin your inhalation. And we'll do this to a 5 count, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the navel rising. At the top of the inhalation, pause. And then gently release the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeezing the abdomen at the end of the exhalation. Relax the abdomen and begin to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause at the top of your inhalation. Slowly release the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. squeezing the abdomen at the end of the exhalation, squeezing out any residual air or any toxins that are in the lungs. Begin your inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently pause and exhale slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now gently allow the palm to come down to your side and just become aware, internally aware of the quality of your mind, and just breathe naturally without forcing. Now, let's wrap the arms behind the thighs, holding together, and we're going to begin to gently rock ourselves up. Rock forward and back, massaging the spine forward and back until we come up to a seated position. Let's extend the legs out in front of us and gently shake the legs out. Shaking the knees. Now bring the ankles, the mat width apart from each other, and now we're just going to go back and forth with the ankles and bring your awareness to the hips. Notice what's going on in the hips. We're very gently bringing synovial fluid to the hips as you breathe in and out through the nose. Keeping in mind that 1/3 of our lymph nodes are located in the joints. The lymph nodes are like filtering stations. And what they'll do is they're going to filter out of the lymph fluid, which is like a clear liquid, any toxins, anything that shouldn't be in the lymph fluid. Gently pause that motion. Now bring heels together. Exhale, point toes away from the face. Inhale, toes come back towards the face. Exhale, toes away. Inhale, toes towards the face. Exhale, toes away. Inhale, toes come back towards the face. Now draw circles in the air with both feet in the same direction. Heels together. And notice what's going on here. You've got all your joints in your legs. You've got ankles, knees, and hips are moving. Gently pause the motion, reverse the direction. Bring your awareness to what's going on in the body. Gently pause the motion. And now we're going to do that tapping, but we're going to do tapping in the lower part of the body. The key for moving the lymph fluid is to get it to go to the heart. The lymph fluid is rich in protein. So if you've ever put a cup of yogurt like out in the sink at night after you're done eating it, yogurt's rich in protein. What does it do? It hardens. So if we're not moving this lymph fluid regularly, that protein tends to get like gelatin. And that's what keeps metabolism from happening. It keeps health from getting better. It keeps us from being able to move trash from the cells. So on an in-breath, let's inhale, raise palms up, press palms to the sky. Now maintain your gaze on the back of your palms. As you exhale, round forward what's comfortable for you without forcing. Toes back towards the face. Now as you breathe in, raise the spine up gently, and we're going to draw simple circles on the knees. This is going to allow the lymph fluid that's in our legs to move back towards the heart, breathing in and out diaphragmatically like we practiced a moment ago. Now we're not hitting ourselves, so we're going to cup the hands. We're going to start down at the ankles, and we're going to tap on the insides of the legs, breathing in and out. Now there's a cluster, just like the armpits, there's a cluster right here in the inner thighs. We're going to work around the hips. Again, the hips are a place that stores. Work around to the buttocks, and then come into the lower back, being very gentle in the lower back because our kidneys are there, right? And we're going to work on the outsides of the legs going down. And you'll notice the last direction we're going to go is the tops of the legs, and it's going back towards the heart, because the key is to move that lymph fluid towards the heart. And we're going to do this 4 more times. Inhale. Palms of the head press, palms of the hands press to the sky. Keep your gaze towards the back of the hands, toes back towards the face as you exhale, round forward what's comfortable for you without forcing. Squeezing the abdomen at the end of the exhalation. As you breathe in, raise the spine up. We're going to draw simple circles on the knees. Breathing in and out through the nose. Gently stop the motion. Cup the hands. We're starting down at the ankles. And we're tapping. You might even notice the movement of the lymph. See if you can notice it. Spend a little extra time in the inner thighs, moving around the hips. You might notice it. Did you ever get goosebumps? If you get goosebumps, that's typically an experience of the lymph fluid moving. Now you're going down the outsides of the legs and coming up to the tops of the legs. And we're going to repeat. Inhale, arms up, press the palms to the sky, toes back towards the face. Keep your gaze on the back of the palms as you round forward what's comfortable for you. As you breathe in, raise the spine up, draw simple circles around the knees. Gently pause the motion, and then we're going to tap, starting down at the ankles. You can bend your knees if it's hard to reach. We've been doing a lot this weekend. Spend a little extra time in the inner thighs, working around the hips, the buttocks, the lower back, and then coming down the outsides of the legs. And then finally, we're moving up the tops of the legs and moving that lymph towards the heart. And one more time. Heels together, inhale. Press palms to the sky. Look to the back of the hands, toes towards the face. Exhale, round forward, what's comfortable for you. Squeeze the abdomen at the end of the exhalation, squeezing out any residual air in the bottom of the lungs. As you breathe in, raise the spine up, drawing simple circles on the knees. And cupping the hands, we're going to start again down at the ankles. Okay, great. Thanks, you guys. So now, let's bring arms up. I call this the I Dream a Genie butt walk. You know, I Dream a Genie. Maybe you guys are too young for that show. Anyhow, so yeah. So we're going to walk with our hips forward. To the edge of the mat. And then we're going to walk back to the center of the mat. We've done a lot in the last few days to cause our hips and our back to experience a little stress. This is designed to get everything moving again. And one more time, we're going to walk to the edge of our mat. And we're doing this in it's a very restorative way. Come back up towards the top of the mat. And then on the way back, stop at the middle of your mat.
I really feel that.
Uh-huh.
A lot.
Yes. It's getting the synovial fluid to move. It's getting the lymph fluid to move into the joints so that the lymph fluid can remove what's in the joints, bring it to the heart so it can be processed and leave the body. And metabolism is happening. You're probably getting a little warm also.
Yes.
Yeah. Be gentle with yourselves, guys. Okay. All right, so let's bring our arm behind our right leg. And now we're going to work on the knees a little bit. We're going to draw circles in the air with the knee, breathing in and out through the nose, keeping in mind the breath is what causes that lymph fluid to move, that and muscle movement. So let's reverse the direction. And if you want, you can do what's known as Darth Vader breath, which is gently bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth with your mouth closed and breathe in a way that causes you to hear your breath. Gently pause, now extend the leg out, shake both legs. We're going to do the opposite side now. So bring both arms behind that left thigh, and as you breathe in, rotate the knee. Also at the same time, wave to me with your feet. You're going to rotate the ankle, bringing motion to the joints in a gentle way. Reverse the direction. Gently pause, and now we're going to cradle the baby. So what that means is take the sole of your foot, your right foot, put it in your left hand. Wrap your right arm around the other leg. This is our baby, and we want to cradle the baby, breathing in and out through the nose. Be gentle with yourselves on this one, guys. Take your time. This is not about forcing. This is not about doing. Again, this is about undoing. And even smile a little bit. It makes it a little easier. Yeah. And just bring your awareness to that hip and notice what's going on. Bring your awareness to the breath. Send the breath to the hip. And if you want to, you can kiss your baby. There you go. All right, now let's shake the legs out. And let's do the other side. So we're going to bring the sole of that left foot into the right palm. We're going to wrap our left arm around the head of that baby. And whatever's available to you, without forcing, gently rock that baby back and forth. Breathing in and out through the nose. Remember to breathe. Okay, you can kiss the baby if you want to. There you go. Bring both legs out in front of you and shake them out. Now let's bring soles of the feet together. And we're going to gently rock back and forth and become aware of what's going on in the hips as we do this without forcing. Bring your awareness internally inside the body to the spot where your hips are. And as you breathe, think about sending the breath to the hips. Visualize sending breath to the hips. And then gently pause the motion. And we're going to maintain this pose. And we're going to do what's known as turtle pose. So turtle pose, see if you can open up your feet without forcing, kind of like a book. If it's available to you, don't force. Now, as you breathe in, I want you to think about your sitting bones. In fact, it might make it a little easier to remove some of the fleshy part away from your sitting bones. Now your sitting bones are like, think of them as your ankles pressing into the floor. And as you do this, crown of the head goes to the sky. Yeah, there you go. Elongate and bring the chin in line with the floor so it's level. We're going to take a couple breaths here and elongate the spine. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now on your next exhalation, I want you to move forward slightly, leaning into the hips, what's comfortable for you, without forcing, making sure that the spine is elongated, crown of the head up. So it's not about rounding. This is not what we're doing right now. It's about elongating the spine, keeping a tall spine, and just move forward what you can without forcing. If it helps, place your palms on the floor in front of you to support you. And just breathe. Think about sending the breath deep into the hips. And we do that by sending the breath into the abdomen first. Allow the abdomen to open. As you exhale, just notice where the body is allowed to go, just simply by using your breath to allow that motion to happen with no forcing, no violence. Breathing fully and completely into the abdomen, elongating the spine, and just listen to the body and listen to where it wants you to go. And now on your next exhalation, take the palms, press your spine up so that it's tall, elongated, and straight. Let's extend the legs out in front of us. Gently shake the legs. Now, we're going to do the opposite of what we just did with the spine. So reverse plank, do y'all know what reverse plank looks like? It's this, okay? You get a choice. You don't have to do that yet. Or you can do tabletop, reverse table. So you choose. So it's going to be here, ankles together. You're going to press up as you breathe in. Or it's going to be here, tabletop. Inhale, pressing the hips up to the sky. As you breathe in, press up. As you exhale, slowly, gently lower your hips to the floor. Consciously, gently. As you breathe in, press the hips up. Squeeze the butt. Exhale, slowly lower the hips to the floor, gently, consciously, as if this was your baby. You are your baby. Be good to yourself. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly lower your hips down. Okay. Extend the legs out in front. Let's shake them out. Yeah, these are my favorite. Okay, cool. So let's come lying down consciously. So how are we going to do that? We're going to bring our hands behind our thighs. We're going to lower down one vertebrae at a time, allowing the hands to go behind the thighs and lower yourself down one vertebrae at a time. Now extend the legs out fully and completely. And we're going to do some simple leg raises, but wait for me. Wait for what I share with you. So, palms at your sides, facing up. Bring the heels together. Tuck the chin in towards the chest and feel your neck elongate and open up. Now, left heel is going to press into the floor as you raise your right leg up. Breathing in. As you exhale, point the toes and lower the leg to the floor. Now, we're going to consciously tilt the pelvis under and engage the abdomen. And now we're going to raise that same leg up. The right leg comes up, toes back towards the face. And notice the difference. Just by tilting the pelvis under and engaging your abs, you've got a little bit more to give. As you exhale, point the toes, slowly lower them to the floor. This next time we're going to hold the leg, and if it's hard for you to hold the leg in place, what I would encourage you to do is you can grab behind the leg with your hands. It's okay to do that, all right? So that's an option for you. So on your next inhalation, think about tilting the pelvis under, engage the abs, raise that right leg up. We're going to draw circles in the air, 3 to the left with the ankle, 3 to the right with the ankle. And now we're going to pause here. We're going to hold this space. Pause the ankle, and if you want to, you can grab behind the hamstrings, you can grab behind the knee, or you can grab behind the calf, whatever is available to you. And now I want you to visualize and think about as if there was like a 50-pound weight on your foot. So that's going to be pressing your hip into your mat. as you breathe in and breathe out. Don't hold the breath, guys. Think about pressing a heavy weight onto your foot, which is then putting pressure on your hip, and it's pressing it into the floor. And maintain this pose through your breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Left ankle is on the floor. Right ankle is being pressed down. And again, think about pressing so hard into your mat with your hip that you're going to put a hole in your mat. Now in your next exhalation, undo the position with your hands. If you're holding onto your leg, point the toes, and as you exhale, gently lower that right leg down to the floor, supporting with the abs and your lower back. Now, separate your feet, your mat's width apart. And I just want you to close your eyes and go internal. Become aware of your legs, your hips. Notice, is there any difference between the right leg and the left leg? Maybe one feels a little longer. Maybe one feels a little bit more open and relaxed. Just simply notice that awareness and the difference as you breathe in and out through the nose, gently. Now in your next inhalation, you're going to bring heels together and we're going to move into the other side. So palms are facing up on either side of your body. And this time we're going to do the pelvis tilt right off the bat. So tilt the pelvis, engage the abs as you raise that left leg. Toes are back towards the face. Now as you exhale, lower that leg, point the toes away from the face. Gently lower the leg to the floor with the breath. We're moving with the breath. Toes back towards the face. As you breathe in, raise that left leg up. Gently pressing the right ankle into the mat, supporting with the abdomen, tilting the pelvis under. As you exhale, slowly lower the leg down, point the toes away from the face. As you breathe in, moving with the breath, raise that leg up. And we're going to pause here, and we're going to rotate that ankle 3 to the right, and then 3 to the left. And if this is not easy for you, if you need to grab onto your leg, please do that. Again, this is not about doing, it's about undoing. So grab behind the hamstring, but grab behind the knee, or if it's available to you, behind the calf, just to hold that leg in place. And now again, think about that 50-pound weight on your foot, and it's pressing your hip into the mat, so much so that you're putting a hole in your mat. Pressing down, feel that pressure. Abs still engaged. Breathing in and out through the mouth, through the nose. Don't hold the breath here, guys. Feel the weight pressing. Feel it moving into that hip, pressing it down into the floor. It might even be shaking your leg. That's okay. Now, in your next exhalation, release the palms, point the toes, and gently lower the leg down to the floor. Now we're going to consciously go within. So that means close the eyes and just check in with the body. What's going on in the legs? What's going on in the hips? Simply notice what's happening internally. What feels different? So now in your next inhalation, we're going to bring that right knee in towards the chest, and we're going to wrap our hands or our arms behind the thigh, and we're going to press that knee in towards the shoulder. And we're going to gently breathe. Again, bringing your awareness to that diaphragmatic breath. So what's happening here, we're going to do a little massage into the lower back. And what that feels like is the abdomen is pressing into your thigh, and it's as you breathe in, the abdomen presses into the thigh, and it creates an opening in the lower back. releasing. And as you exhale, you're just going to release and relax a little bit more into the pose without forcing. Breathing in, feel the abdomen press into the thigh, breathing fully and completely. And as you exhale, allow that lower back to release a little bit more. And maybe if it's available to you, you bring that knee towards your shoulder, to the right shoulder, and out towards a little bit further. Breathing in, feel the abdomen pressing into the thigh. At the top of the inhalation, pause. Slowly release the breath and just see where the body can go without forcing it. Again, this is not a competition. This is you giving back to yourself. Now in your next inhalation, we're going to undo the position. We're going to undo the hands and allow that right leg to come to the floor, out in front of us. We're going to move into that left leg now. Gently shake the legs out before we do so. Good. So as we breathe in, we're going to bring that knee back towards our shoulder blade, or our shoulder, and feel the pressure as it moves into the abdomen. With the hands, the palms behind the thigh. As you breathe in, feel the belly expand fully and completely, feeling that pressure. And as you do that, notice how it's opening up your lower back. Bring your awareness to the lower back. At the top of the inhalation, pause, and then slowly, consciously release the breath and just feel the lower back relax. It's like you're giving yourself a massage in your lower back. At the end of the exhalation, squeeze the abdomen, squeezing out any residual toxins or breath, and then relax the abdomen and begin a long, slow inhalation. Conscious breath in. Feeling the pressure of the abdomen into the thigh. And at the top of the inhalation, pause. Slowly release the breath. And feel the lower back just release, just melt right into the mat. Now on your next inhalation, we're going to release that leg to the floor, gently lower the foot to the floor and extend that leg out in front of you. Okay. Now we're going to do figure 4. So we'll start with the left knee raised up. So the left foot's on the floor, left knee is to the sky. And as you breathe in, you're going to raise that right leg up. Before you do so, tilt the pelvis under, engage your abs to support this. Raise that right leg up. And as you exhale, we're going to cross the leg over that left knee. So the right ankle is going to cross over the left knee. Keep the right toes back towards the shin, and that's going to help protect the knee. Now, if it's available to you, think about taking the palms and bring them behind the left thigh. So you're going to raise that left sole of the left foot off the mat, bring the palms behind the left thigh, and then press that right elbow into your right thigh, opening up. Now breathe into this just like we did a moment ago, fully and completely, sending the breath down into the abdomen. And as you exhale, just relax a little bit more into the pose, releasing, relaxing. If it's available to you, pulling forward just gently with your palms so that that left knee and your right foot are coming back towards your face. Whatever's available to you. It's okay to leave your left foot on the floor and just maintain that figure 4 pose and breathe. You listen to your body. It's telling you what it needs right now. And as you breathe in, abdomen rises fully and completely. At the top of the inhalation, pause. Slowly release the breath. Consciously squeezing the abdomen at the end of the exhalation. Now there's one more stage to this. If it's available to you, take the sole of the left foot and raise it up towards the ceiling. if it's available to you, making sure that that pelvis is tucked under and your lower back is flat on the floor, engaging your abdomen and squeezing the quadriceps in that left leg, pressing that left foot towards the sky, toes back towards the face of that left foot, and just breathe here, guys. Pressing both hips into the mat. Right elbow pressing into that right thigh. And on your next exhalation, gently bend that left knee, bringing the sole of the left foot back to the mat, gently releasing the palms. As you breathe in, tilt the pelvis under, raise that right leg up, sole of the right foot to the sky. Exhale gently, consciously. Bring that right foot, sole of the right foot to the mat. Extend both legs out on the floor in front of you. Just give them a gentle shake. Now we're going to work into the other side. So consciously tilt that pelvis under, engage the abs as you raise that right leg up. This is protecting your lower back. Sole of the right foot is on the floor. Now, as you breathe in, raise the sole of the left foot up to the ceiling. As you exhale, cross the left leg over the right. And just, you can hang out here for a couple breaths. There's nowhere that we have to go in this pose except where your body is asking you to be. So please consciously listen to that. On your next inhalation, think about your palms. If it's available to you, bring the palms behind your right thigh and raise the sole of that right foot off the mat. Again, tilting the pelvis under, engaging the abs to protect your lower back. Pressing that left elbow into the left thigh. Feel the opening up of the hips. As you breathe in, abdomen rises. As you exhale, abdomen falls. This means we're breathing fully and completely with the bottom part of our lungs. On your next inhalation, if it's available to you, go ahead and raise that sole of the right foot to the sky, pressing the lower back into the mat. Maintain here for a few breaths. As you breathe in, think about pressing the hips into the mat. Press that left elbow into the left thigh without forcing. Listen to the body. With each exhalation, just observe where the body can go. The exhalation is what causes the relaxation, which creates restoration. Now, on your next exhalation, gently bend that right knee. We're going to bring the sole of the right foot to the floor, undoing the pose. As you breathe in, press the sole of that right foot to the floor, raising the left foot up to the sky. Exhale, bring that left foot towards the floor. Press both soles of the feet into the mat. Raise the hips up gently, consciously. And then as you exhale, lower the spine down one vertebrae at a time, gently, consciously. Shake the hips out. Extend both legs out onto the floor. And now we're moving into our final resting pose. So, final resting pose, Shavasana. What we're going to do is we're going to extend both feet out to the edge of the mat, toes pointed outward, relaxing. This can also be done with the knees bent, it might be a little easier on your lower back. Knees bent, heels out, away, toes pointing in, so that the knees are just kind of falling into each other. So either way, you can extend the legs out or you can bend the knees so that there's release of any pressure on the lower back. Bring palms facing up on either side of your body. And we're just going to gently tuck the shoulder blades underneath. Tuck the chin in towards the chest, which is going to elongate the vertebrae in the neck. And now consciously, as you breathe in, look to the right, look over your right shoulder, and allow the weight of your head to fully and completely just cause the motion to happen. And as you exhale, consciously, slowly allow the head to move to the left and feel the opening up of your neck. Just gently roll back and forth. As you exhale, roll back to the other side, moving with the breath consciously. And on your next exhalation, bring the head center with your gaze up to the ceiling. And I'm going to ask you to gently close your eyes and go within. There's nothing to do. You've done it already. Allow your body to fully and completely relax. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet and say to yourself, the soles of my feet are relaxed. Now bring your awareness to the tops of your feet, ankles, calves, shins, and say to yourself, my lower legs and feet are completely relaxed. Moving up to the knees, bring your awareness to the quadriceps. Bring your awareness to the hamstrings and the hips. Mentally say to yourself, my legs and my hips are fully relaxed. Shifting your awareness now to the abdomen. Lower spine, middle spine. Say to yourself, my abdomen, my lower spine is completely relaxed. And know there's nothing to do. Bring your awareness to shoulder blades, upper spine, ribs, shoulders. Say to yourself, my trunk is completely relaxed. Now bring your awareness to the fingertips, the palms of the hands, backs of the hands, wrists, forearms, elbows, biceps, triceps. Say to yourself, my arms are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to the neck and to your throat, the back of the skull. Feel the gentle pressure and the weight of your skull on the floor. And say to yourself, my neck and back of my head is relaxed. Allow it to melt into your mat. Now bring your awareness to your jaw. Relax your jaw. Relax the tongue inside your mouth. Relax your lips. Relax your cheeks. Relax the muscles around your eyes, eyebrows, your temples. Relax the top of your head. Relax your mind. There's nothing to do. Allow your body to melt into the mat. Experiencing restoration, peace, comfort, care, health, love, connection. Connection to your source. In this moment, with nothing to do, be fully present and conscious to that beautiful connection in your heart. Bring awareness to the heart space and see a pinhole, a small, tiny, golden light in the center of your heart. And with each gentle breath that you take, notice that small shimmer of light expands. It grows. And now it's the size of your heart. And with each breath, it's moving and getting greater, taking over and moving throughout your chest, your abdomen, moving out into your hips, your shoulders, expanding in a sphere, in a circle, out beyond your body. And each one of our golden spheres of light now moves. And it expands. And it's touching the golden light of each one of us around us. It expands now, and it moves out beyond this house, out into the surrounding community. With each breath, it expands even faster, out into the entire state of Florida, the country, the globe, beyond, without limits, this golden light of love, peace, compassion, care. It's without limits. And it's who you are. connected. Now slowly, consciously, bring your thoughts to your fingers. Allow gentle movement to begin to come back into the body through the fingers and the toes. Allow your head to move ever so slowly, as if you weren't even making the movement happen, gently to the right. Just the weight of your head is causing this motion. And then back to the left. Slowly, consciously. Still with the eyes closed. Moving the head back to center. Now, gently move over to the right side of your mat into a fetus position. Extending your right arm out. Allow your head to rest on the right bicep. Pause here for a moment and just be present. And on your next inhalation, take the left palm, press it into the floor, and raise yourself up consciously, slowly, coming into a seated position, a comfortable seated position. Sitting bones pressed into the mat. Maybe release some of the fleshy part around the sitting bones. Let's inhale, bring palms up above us, looking up. As you exhale, bring the hands, bring your gaze to the palms in front of your face, down into your heart. Allow the eyes to come to the fingertips and gaze at your heart and your palms. And so we'll close the class with a greeting that means the highest and best in me sees and acknowledges the highest and best that is you. Namaste.
So I recently made a pretty strong physical transformation because I recognized with what we're doing, I wanted to have tremendous amounts of energy in order to build elite builders coast to coast. And I hired a personal trainer. So while we're out here, after 4 months of working with him from a distance, I'm gonna get to meet him in person and we're gonna work out. Let's see how Jose does with the workout. We'll see you there. So I'm here in LA and Manhattan Beach with my trainer, the one and only Chris DeVecchio, and he's helped me tremendously in my transformation, right? I didn't know movement, I didn't know nutrition, I didn't know supplementation, despite being kind of, athletic and playing football in high school and water polo and things of that nature. And, it's awesome to meet you in person. And what we were doing today is really tweaking and working on these small little pieces that's gonna continue to help me grow to that next level. I notice I have it's like here that
you're missing some stimulus in here, right? And so part of what it needs is it needs more range of motion. Like those shoulders need to come back farther. We need to get more stimulus in here. And then at the top of the movement, right? If you put your hands out, drive out, keep your chest up a little bit. You gotta squeeze, 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 squeeze. You feel how hard it is for you to find that? It's not very easy, right?
It's not.
You can find this very easy.
That's hard, yeah.
Right? But this section's really hard because you're still a little bit here. You live here for so long, this tissue has really been shut down. It doesn't get stretched.
That's interesting. So that's why that was happening?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you pull your shoulders back a little bit, right? Now, bring your arms up, right? Now, squeeze back like the bar is coming down. Down, 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 down. Go farther, go farther. Can you feel that stretch?
A little bit.
Okay, now hold the shoulder blades back as you push forward and keep that chest up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. See if you can feel right where my fingers are. You feel it?
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to find.
It is.
Right? So, but you have to, it's like find that spark to build that connection back. You got to wake up that tissue, but you got to have the range of motion to be able to access that tissue.
That makes sense.
Makes sense? Really important to just talk about the importance of movement, biomechanics. How you move unloaded is going to determine how well you move in the gym. And so, with the app that we use for the remote program, it's really effective in helping be able to figure out some of those little nuances, but having a chance to work in person, which is rare. I don't usually get these opportunities. with clients, but it's great to be able to see that you just come a long way since we started, and I'm super proud of you, man. Body now today is much different than it was when we began, and we got so much further to go, so I'm excited.
It's the little things that make all the difference. And it's interesting because even though I was kind of athletic, even though I played football in high school, I played water polo, what I've realized over the last 4 months is I had no idea what I was doing in the gym. And the best way to ramp up the learning curve is get proximity to somebody who does.
If any of you guys are interested in checking out my program, you can head over to my Instagram, it's Chris DeVecchio. And if you want to go to the website, you can go to chrisdevecchio.com as well, and then shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions or set up a remote consult.
Let's go, let's grow. Well, it's easier for me to keep my commitments 100% of the time than it is 90% of the time.
I think EXP is a scam.
So we can all perform the same service. Like if I was in a room of 1,000 agents, I'd be like, hey, how many of you guys have a real estate license? Do we all make the same amount of money?
And how'd you get listings?
So actively prospecting.